All right, so beyond the inauguration, what are we doing on the internet? You know, those of us in general, you know, we talk about it growing in terms of traffic dramatically. What are the things that we're doing? And predominantly, it is things like web downloads, peer-to-peer networking, right? So web downloads is just that, and YouTube, especially with video downloads, is really, you know, driving the growth on the internet, because video obviously takes up a lot more bandwidth than regular email files or even audio files. And then peer-to-peer networking is just that. It started off with MP3 files, people trading music, and now they're trading videos back and forth. So it's, you know, sharing information between users. And that really is driving the bulk of the growth. And then, you know, from a non-peer-to-peer perspective, are some of these websites that I show here. All right, so how much data is there? I'm going to throw some numbers here that, at least for me, just I can't even fathom. So we'll start with YouTube today consumes more bandwidth in a single day than the entire internet did in the year 2000. Right? So think about that. In the year 2000, you know, the internet started, you know, about 10, 15 years ago. In the year 2000, you know, we thought we were doing something pretty cool, and it was growing pretty large. We're at the point, you know, here 8 years later, where just one website generates as much bandwidth as the entire internet did, you know, 8 years ago. Okay, another kind of set of numbers. It took 200 years to fill the Library of Congress. You know, 57 million documents, you can read some of the numbers there. Today, worldwide, an equal amount of digital info is generated 100 times a day. Right? So the amount of stuff that we all are generating, right? I mean, which is obvious, right? I mean, we take a picture, 3 megs, 5 megs, 6 megs, right? We just generated. So you multiply that out by the, you know, billions of people on the planet, and, you know, you can see how these numbers start getting really large. All right, so how do we start measuring this? We have some new terminology. There's something called an exabyte. 1 exabyte equals 1 quintillion bytes. Or, more easily said, it's 1 billion gigabytes. Right? So 1 billion gigabytes. It turns out that through 1999, everything, if you measure everything that humanity ever generated, they equated it to 12 exabytes. How do you add all this up? I don't know. Don't ask me. These people at Berkeley did this stuff. So 12 exabytes. All right? That's a number that we can get our hands around, 12 exabytes. So the study that was done, they actually do a tracking of the worldwide information. I mean, they're guesstimating it based on things going on. It showed that in the year 2008, in 1 year, we had 467 exabytes generated. And so that's about 1.2 exabytes a day, and that number is growing. So the reason I throw some of this up there is to say broadband is critical. Growing the size of the pipe is critical. And the ways we're using these pipes is constantly changing and moving from, you know, the way we grew up and the way we were thinking even a few years ago. So from a technology perspective, as equipment manufacturers and network developers, you know, we're finding that, wow, we got to continue to push the envelope on getting more and more. You know, it's that whole that notion of if you build it, they will come. We're finding that to be true. We're coming up with ways to get more and more bits pushed through the air or through the wire, and companies are finding ways to use it all up. So, which is good. Good for us. All right, so this is another slide that you don't have in your packages, but I added as well. Now, I wanted to say, hey, what are we seeing here at the beginning of 2009? What are some things that I'm predicting that we might see this year that are pretty cool? And oh, by the way, will be bandwidth costs. So I'm going to start here in the lower left. I don't know how many of you saw during the election coverage in November on CNN. They had this thing where they did a hologram. They had a reporter that was in a different place when she was in her room surrounded by cameras, and they took the different images from these different cameras and created a 3D image of her, and they projected it on the stage where Wolf Blitzer was. And he was interacting with her as if she was So that, now it turns out CNN actually faked this. The technology didn't work very smoothly, so in reality it turns out he wasn't actually able to see her. We could see her on the camera, they kind of superimposed some things. But I wanted to keep this on here to say, we can see, predict that eventually this kind of technology is going to get perfected, where if you're at an event, they'll have cameras all around, and they'll essentially project that image, and instead of watching the game, they already have 3D. How many of you guys just saw this, right? They have 3D. You can go to a theater and watch a 3D version of an NFL game. You guys hear about this? So they just started this. They did the first ever event of this about a couple months ago, where they had 3D cameras of an NFL game. You could buy tickets for like $50 a ticket. Go to your local theater, put those goofy glasses on, and watch the game in 3D. Take this, so that's where this is going. Take this, basically you'll have cameras in a stadium or something, and holographically it'll project, like, you're at the stadium. That's where we can see things going. Will all of that happen in 2009? No, but the foundations of some of that technology we see coming. These two pictures kind of go together as well. There's a software by Microsoft called PhotoSynth, which is actually pretty cool. And in fact, rather than talk to it, Shannon, you want to go to the website? That might be actually, I'm going to have you navigate around that website as I talk about this. So this is CNN.com. Any of you guys can go to it. What they asked is all the people that were there at the inauguration snapped a picture. At the moment, Barack Obama puts his hand up, one hand on the Bible, one hand up, snap a picture, and email that picture into the CNN. And what CNN did, working with this Microsoft software, is take all those pictures and they're able to link them together. The software dynamically links it together. It basically finds common points in the different pictures, links them together. Within about 2 hours after the event, this was up on the website. Now we as users can go in and pan around. In fact, Shannon, I don't know if you hit the left arrow, right? If you kind of pan to the back side of, I haven't figured out yet how to navigate very easily. That's why I'm going to play with it. But what they essentially did is piece together multiple pictures into a virtual, three-dimensional image almost, or virtual landscape image, and you could navigate around, zoom in, zoom out, and see all sorts of things. And so you can imagine that, it's almost like events going forward, it'll become more and more real for us at home. Now what this also means is a lot more bandwidth, right? To kind of do this smoothly and kind of take the kinks out of what we're seeing here. It'll get smoother and smoother. So, some pretty amazing stuff. All right. Then a couple other trends. We'll see if this comes out. There's some gadget websites. I guess, maybe I'm a geek. I admit it. There's some gadget websites out there that are predicting. Verizon hasn't announced this yet, but they're predicting that Verizon's going to come out with this phone. Phone plugs into your home network. It's going to go with Fios, so it assumes that you have some broadband data speeds. And they're combining essentially a screen with widgets on it. They want to make it as easy to use as an iPhone, just to be able to get stock quotes, weather, traffic, be able to see your own pictures on the screen. But it's really just a regular wireline phone with a fancy screen attached to it. But they're thinking, hey, maybe people are going to want to be able to do more of it, that be connected in that way. But the cool thing I wanted to show is surface computing. How many of you guys have heard of surface computing? All right, 2, 3 people. So this is also by Microsoft. The technology that actually came out a couple of years ago, and it's still in the process of being perfected.